Every year, millions turn to IVF, yet most cycles don't succeed on the first try. It's emotionally draining and expensive. At Embryomic, we have developed a simple, breakthrough, non-invasive test that helps choose the right embryo the first time. For millions of hopeful parents, IVF brings both hope and heartbreak. Despite almost 60 years of progress, success rates remain stuck at just 25 to 30% per cycle. Couples often endure repeated treatments, escalating costs, and huge emotional strain. Traditionally, embryo selection methods, visual scoring, even with AI, and pre-implantation genetic testing for aneuploidy, also known as PGTA, have not consistently improved live birth outcomes in real-world practice. In fact, PGTA has been challenged for creating unnecessary risks of discarding potentially viable embryos. The first IVF baby, Louise Brown, was born in 1976, a moment of global joy recently retold in the Netflix film Joy. Yet decades later, for too many families, joy remains out of reach. Embryonic's answer is PMT-BC, pre-implantation metabolic testing for blastocyst competence. The test identifies the most viable embryo for implantation by measuring metabolism, the true energy of life, using clinical-grade mass spectrometry, MALDI-TOF MS. We analyse the embryo's spent culture media. The data is calibrated against a digital spectral library of biomarkers and then processed through our predictive algorithm. The outcome is a simple, clear battery score, showing which embryo is most likely to result in a healthy pregnancy. It is non-invasive, fast, and integrates seamlessly into existing IVF lab workflows.
Every week, I meet couples whose dreams are delayed by failed IVF cycles. The emotional and financial toll is immense. PMT-BC is the first tool I've seen that allows us to select embryos based on their true biological potential. This means fewer failed transfers, a faster path to pregnancy, and most importantly, restoring hope and confidence for families. For patients, this isn't just innovation. It's a chance to hold their child sooner. The impact on patients is life-changing.
We have already invested 1.2 million in developing the product and have a 5 to 12 year head start in terms of testing and clinical data on spent blastocysts. Patents have been granted in EU, UK and China. We have established a dedicated research laboratory in 2024 on the DCU Innovation Campus. Validation studies of the PMT-BC have started at a large IVF clinic chain, Sims, and has received ethics approval from its parent company in Australia. Progress has been made with a German clinic to participate in a parallel validation study. Annually, there are over 1 million IVF cycles undertaken in 1,500 clinics in the European market alone, which equates to circa 5 million blastocysts, or an average 5 embryos per treatment cycle. The key markets targeted by Embryomic equates to 3.5 million blastocysts, which could be tested. Embryomic is seeking to penetrate the German and Irish markets in year 1 and 2. Subsequently, we intend to focus on Japan in year 3 due to the exceptional high 500,000 IVF cycles undertaken there annually. These markets are attractive to Embryomic due to their maturity, forecast growth potential, average compound annual growth rate greater than 7%, regulation regime and concentration of larger clinics in higher population areas. Relatively low initial market penetration rates of 10% in Ireland, 7.5% in Germany and 1% in Japan could be expected to generate annualized revenue run rates in excess of 15 million by year 3. This level of traction and revenue generation makes the opportunity for investors very attractive. The 6 million pre-money valuation is underpinned by 2 key factors. Number 1, patent license. Embryomic has the exclusive use of 2 patents for the PMT-BC test. Today's equivalent cost to create and file protection for these 2 patents will be in excess of 5 million euros. To replicate these patents would take years to conduct trials, gather samples and know-how. Number 2, operational key performance indicators. The pre-money valuation of 6 million is underpinned by year 2 annualized revenue run rates of almost 3 million euros. Additionally, when a 50% EWS tax rebate is applied, the effective valuation on which investors can invest is only 3 million euros, leaving plenty of opportunity for capital appreciation. I'm Robert Brennan, CEO of Embryomic. I'm a former senior stockbroker, established RDT Care, a prominent COVID testing firm, in 2020. I successfully built the company to employ over 50 staff with revenues greater than 1 million. RDT Care played a pivotal role in providing essential testing solutions during the global pandemic. Our CFO is Kieran Gahan. He's a chartered accountant with 35 years experience in corporate finance and asset management. He set up Wealth and Property Solutions Limited, a boutique corporate finance and investment company, 20 years ago. Kieran's an experienced non-exec director and acting chief financial officer. Dr. Anthony Walsh is an IVF expert, investor and chairman of Embryomic, who brings 40 years experience from the fertility industry. He set up the first IVF clinic in Ireland in 1988 and was the founder of the Sims Clinic in Dublin prior to selling it 10 years ago. Dr. Walsh is a well-known figure in the international fertility sector, extensively published, and was a pioneer in adopting new technologies to improve fertility outcomes.
I am Professor Ray Isles, Chief Scientific Officer, a world-leading scientist in biomarkers and mass spectrometry. I am a former research professor and university dean with extensive experience in biotech startups. Dr. Zara Nazir, clinical advisor. She is a consultant in women's health surgery with deep expertise in IVF and patient care. Dr. Nazir plays a pivotal role in validating PMTBC in clinical settings and is instrumental to Embryomics' expansion into Germany, one of Europe's largest IVF markets.
Our founder team has a really strong mix of commercial and domain experience, with Professor Isles possessing world-leading knowledge in both metabolic and protein biomarkers and the use of mass spectrometry. The PMTBC testing tool for identifying viable embryos for IVF treatments is a game changer, with a potential 47% increase in successful IVF implant processes. Plummeting fertility rates in developing economies are now in crisis phase, with IVF treatments expected to grow in significance in the global healthcare market. IVF as a fertility solution has been available since 1978, but success rates are still only in the 25 to 30% region. Embryonics' targeted European markets test approximately 3.5 million blastocysts each year. Relatively low penetration rates of these markets would generate a projected annualized revenue run rate of €15 million by 2028. The PMTBC is patent protected and has at least 5-year clinical testing advantage, with a digital spectral database of over 12,000 tests. The opportunity for investors is attractive as the pre-money valuation is underpinned by projected year 2 revenues of $3 million. Embryomic is a client of Enterprise Ireland and has been through a rigorous due diligence process with the state agency. This is an EAS qualifying company, so investors can avail of 50% tax rebates, meaning a €1,000 investment costs the investor a net amount of €500. The minimum investment is €100. This is an exclusive opportunity for private investors to access a venture capital caliber investment opportunity with highly disruptive growth potential and a very generous 50% EAS tax rebate. Further information can be found on the Spark platform.